Is it? Because yes, now it is recorded. Okay, now come to the course content or the functional part. So far we discussed what is this SAP, what is this R3 structure. Now, what is the responsibility of the consultant? So as I said, there are two types of consultants are there. One is technical consultant and functional consultant. Technical consultant, like the basis consultant, he will maintain the server, he will create the user ID, he will give the access to different users. Let's say I'm the FI consultant, I should have the authorization for all FI stuff. And CO consultant, different users and loading and uploading of data. Some like not loading, migration of data from one client to another client. This type of he is called as system admin. So basically, their work is in database layer or in storage area. Okay. Okay. Now come to the functional people. So functional people, they will closely work with the core team members. Who are the core team members? In our next session, I will tell you, when I will tell you the ASAP methodology, like how one project is implemented and all. So they will get the information. There are proper methodology how we will get the information from the core team members or from the client. So they will map everything. They will prepare some documents, and once everything is final, or we have the blueprint, we can say, then they will start their work or what they will do or what is there in your course content. So here, as you can see, this is the submodules of FI. Okay, so these are the submodules of FI. Module is FI and submodules these are. Like here we have GL, AR, AP, bank, asset, everything. But as I said, SAP is fully customized ERP. That means as per the requirement of client, we have to do the settings or configuration. So that means we have to do first the enterprise structure. Enterprise structure means it's the organization structure. For example, if I will say, maybe you take one example of one company. So let's say Tata Group. So Tata Group operation is completely different from a other company, right? So their mapping and all these things we have to do as per the Tata organization structure. So that is known as your organization structure or enterprise structure. So it's like this, Tata Group. Then under this Tata Group, you may have multiple subsidiary companies. I am not using the SAP terminology. Maybe you know these things, but I am not using. Like this is company code, all these things. So let's say under Tata Group, we have two subsidiary companies. This is the holding company, and these are subsidiary companies. Let's say one is your Tata Motors, and one Tata TV Services. Okay. Again, in Tata Motors, we have, let's say, multiple plants will be there. Different location plants will be there. So these are all your plants. Again, under one plant, you may have multiple godowns or storage locations, warehouses may be there. So all these things should be incorporated in the system. Maybe, let's say, in our last configuration, we did it for Pfizer. Can we use the same organization structure for Tata? No, because Tata organization structure is completely different from Pfizer. Their reporting system will be completely different, right? Pfizer was US company, so we can't use that in Tata Group. So first, the responsibility of the FI consultant, they will create the company. Once the company will be created, then other consultants, they can start their work, like MM consultant, SD consultant, HR, plant maintenance. The first prime responsibility with the FI consultant. So that means we will here do the organization structure or enterprise structure. Next one, That is, in syllabus it is given as global setting, and it's nothing but some general settings. So what are these global settings? So it is expected. Take a please mute yourself so that there will be no noise in this recording. Any question you can only ask. Thanks. So in global setting, it's like this. For example, let's say we have head office in USA. Okay, their currency will be USD. Reporting will be January to December. Also, we have operation in India. Here currency is INR. Reporting will be April to March. So that means we have to do some configurations related to accounting year or fiscal year. Again, we have to define here the accounting rule applicable US GAAP. Here Indian accounting standards. So like this, currency should be different. So these are some tax also, that is also country specific settings are there. So some general settings first we have to do, which is applicable to country wise. Basically these are your country level settings or client level settings. Okay, some field settings related to document, different, because in system there is nothing called debit and credit. So we have to map these things technically. In system there is nothing called customer vendor. So these things should be converted into technical. So all these things we will do here in account, like in global settings. Once you are through with these two parts, then we can start the sub-module. First sub-module is your GL. So in general ledger, the normal office activity what we are doing, same thing we will do here. Like for example, what is the activity we are doing in GL topic. So we are posting various transactions related to GL, right? Then we have different ledger masters are there. Then we have different reports. We are preparing the profit and loss and balance sheet. So all these things we will cover here in general ledger. For this, whatever the configurations are required, that we will do in our backend or in application layer, so that user can post different transactions or they can create ledger. Okay, they can have the reports, profit and loss, balance sheet. These are the normal things are there. In ECC6, right, the current version, we have an option feature that is called new GL. So this is the main important area from your interview point of view. If they will ask questions, they will ask questions from new GL. Classic, what everybody knows. So in new GL, what is the new GL? So as for this structure, previously in 4.7 version, let's say as we have operation in India, so here we have to furnish two balance sheets. One for ROC purpose or company law point of view, and one for income tax. So previously, and these two transactions should be, right, these transactions should be there in your consolidated balance sheet, because that is the company where USA is registered. So this is the parent company. So in 4.7 versions or in old versions, the foreign transactions they used to enter again in other currency, in their currency, because these transactions should be there in the consolidated balance sheet, profit and loss balance sheet. Now in new GL, we have the option of parallel accounting and leading and non-leading ledger. Okay, parallel accounting, leading and non-leading ledger. So here I can use this US operation as leading ledger. And this one as, these two as non-leading ledger. Okay. So any transaction specifically for income tax purpose. Let's say on income computer 60% depreciation will be charged, right? So that means if we will prepare the balance sheet for income tax purpose, so our calculation should be a different rate of depreciation and different methods maybe. So that should be related to this ledger. So here we will use a ledger group something, non-leading ledger, let's say X. Similarly, for company law point of view, if any transaction is required, so that we will enter here. And automatically, whatever the transactions we will post in non-reading ledger, we should have a copy in reading ledger with a different currency. So that means in the end of the month or end of the year, we have the multiple options. We can prepare the balance sheet for reading ledger, that is all. And also we have option, we can select the non-reading ledger, we can prepare for company law point of view and tax point. So this facility is there by using these two configurations. Okay, previously we don't have this option. Another option is document splitting. So in document splitting, here it is related to profit center. So here, let's say we are manufacturing some cars, that is your domestic vehicles. Okay, same example, data example, domestic vehicle and some commercial vehicles also, or heavy vehicles. So I will take this as my segment reporting also. Segment 1, and this one I can take as segment 2. Okay, this is domestic vehicle and the heavy vehicles are my segment 1 and segment 2. Then under this segment, maybe you have two products. One is your hatchback car and one sedan class. Right? Two different segments are, two different products are there, hatchback and sedan. Here also we have some product 1 and product 2. So these are my profit centers. Right? These are my profit centers. So that means under two segments we have multiple profit centers are there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then under one profit center you may have multiple work centers, because if car is not like in one end we will put the material and in the other end we will get the finished product. So in different segments we are doing the manufacturing. Let's say somewhere we are doing some body part work, somewhere we are doing some assemble work, somewhere we are doing some polishing work. So different work centers are there related to production. So each work center we can take as one cost center, right? So that means under these profit centers you have, let's say, cost centers are body shop, assemble, then polishing. Okay, here may be something different. Now, segment, profit center and cost center. In different cost centers you have different expenditures. Then what is the use of this document splitting? Let's say I will post a transaction. The transaction is like this. We have a common customer, right? So it's a simple sales entry. Customer account debited, let's say 50,000 to sales. So here we have two sales ledgers, two profit center or two product, two sales ledger to sales, some sales ledger 30,000, profit center 1. Two sales 20,000, profit center 2. Now in this case, can I say my accounting is correct? No. So here, if you prepare the profit and loss, it's no issue. We can prepare. But if you prepare the balance sheet, it will not tally, because profit center wise credit is there, profit center debit is not there, because this customer is common to both. Okay. So now which profit center we will use here? We don't have any information. So that means profit center 1 debit is missing, profit center 2 credit is missing. So as a result, balance sheet will not tally. So this is called entry view. Previously, this issue was there. So after splitting, or in GL view, or this is automatically we will do some configuration. User will enter the document as it is, and after splitting, this document should split like this. customer account debited 30,000. How it will split? Again, that is related to configuration. 30,000 profit center 1, customer account debited profit center 2. And credit entries. So this is just one example I have given. Like this, any transaction you will post, it should split profit center by. So now your debit credit balance, profit center 1 debit this much, profit center 1 credit this much. So your profit and loss and balance it will tell. So for this, we need the document splitting. So it's not only customer invoice, any transaction. In any transaction system will enter, you will enter, the user will enter the document in entry view and system will split this in GL view. So this is your related to document split and this is a very important topic. So this is the highlighted area or this is the most important area in GL. So along with classic GL, we will work on the new GL part. Now come to the next submodule. This is related to receivable. Okay, receivable will not work independently because this receivable, accounts receivable, it is related to finance. But before that, we should have the SD configuration and SD system should be integrated with FI. Otherwise, when we will do the receivable, there should be invoice, right? And who will enter the invoice? Sales, right? So that means in system we should have the customer master, we should have the invoice, then only we will go for the receivable. So receivable is linked with your sales or SD module. So that means here we have to do the configuration and we have to do the integration also. So in receivable, it's not like only bank to customer. It's every complete business transaction related to collection, like defining payment terms, define payment methods, right? The calculation of bad debt, calculation of noted items, calculation of your sending some reminders that is running. Everything related to collection business transaction we will handle here. So it is linked with SD and then only it will work accounts receivable. Although we have in finance, we have the option without SD, we can also do the various transactions related to finance. So in that case, you have to compromise with the value only. For example, let's say 100 items at the rate of 50, so 5,000 let's say. Here you can post a simple invoice like customer to sales. This quantity, sales order, all these things will not be there. If you go for a collection, then for which invoice you are doing this collection, no sales order number will be there. So in complete, to see the complete cycle, you should have the SD configuration in the system. Now come to accounts payable. So these are the simple topics compared to other topics. Again, this is related to MM. So same here, MM configuration and integration is required here. Then only your AP will work. So that means AP is linked with your purchase and receivable is linked with your sales. So in real project, these two consultants are different consultants. They will handle their stuff, but in training we have to do this. Then only our receivable payable will work or the integration part will also work completely. Otherwise, it's halfway it will work. So we have to do this configuration. Then bank ledger accounting. Okay, it's related with all the banking activities. From certification point of view, bank ledger is not part of FI. It is part of your cash management and treasury. But in interview, they will ask questions from this area also. So bank ledger also we have included here. So everything related to the check management, cash management, then bank reconciliation, okay, cash journal, everything is there in your bank ledger accounting. One part I have not highlighted here, but without that also these things will be incomplete. That is your tax, indirect tax and sales purchase. So without configuring tax and sales purchase, your SD and MM will not work. So by default it is there, and it is not part of your FI module. It is part of your different. It's a country-specific module. Like in India, we have the SIN, country India version. In US, it is federal taxation system. Okay. So I have included the tax and sell purchase. Now come to the asset accounting. In asset accounting, we will cover fixed assets accounting. As per my knowledge, SAP is the only software which is giving the complete solution related to assets. Okay, so from user point of view, there is not so many things related to transaction wise. What we will do you will purchase assets, you will sell assets, you will calculate the depreciation. But it's so complicated process. Maximum cases the user can't handle this proper way. For example, they used to calculate depreciation always on last working day, like in India, 31st March. But why they used to calculate on 31st March? Is it for one day? It is for whole year. But this calculation method is so complicated, they don't dare to calculate on every month. Again, here tax depreciation should be, for tax purpose, depreciation should be calculated using some different rate and different method. For company law point of view also, different rate and different method. So again, same asset should be evaluated in two methods. Okay. So here, consultant's job is much and user job is very less, because there are very less transactions or your activities for user. They will purchase assets, they will run the depreciation. Once they will run the depreciation for all assets, it will be calculated automatically. They will sell the asset, they will do some transfer of assets from one department to another department. These are activities. But configuration, each and everything we have to map automatically so that user can run the transaction. The most important area of asset accounting is, in our accounting term we used to say this is WIP, work in progress, or in SAP language it is asset under construction. Let's say we are going to purchase a machine. You paid the money, purchase, you acquired the machine, over. There is no accounting, other related transactions are there. You will post an entry, let's say through vendor, then machine to vendor, then payment done. But let's say we are doing a construction of a building, and that building, let's say we will complete in 2 years. So here accounting will be different. When we will do the expenditures, what type of expenditure we have? Material, labor, charges, some other expenditure related to construction. So in front end, or when we are doing the expenditure, we don't have the asset. So you have to record this as a normal expenditure. Then let's say the cost is 1 lakh. So we have to convert this 1 lakh into your WIP, or construction of assets, right? Okay. In practical scenario, let's say we are doing this construction for a particular department or for a particular cost center. So their general expenditure, maybe it is also entered in the cost here in this area. Let's say 80% of cost or 90% of cost is related to this expenditure. So that means when here one capitalization method will be there. That means from normal expenditure we have to convert this to work in progress. So let's say your capital expenditure for this 90,000. Okay, so that means one settlement will be there from normal expenditure to work in progress or under construction assets. Then when we will prepare the balance sheet, as per the valuer certification, 40% cost is your completed assets. So that means 30,000 will be your completed assets, and rest 60% will be of this 90. 40% of 90, 60% of 90, that is your work in progress assets. So in balance sheet you will have two type of assets. One is completed and one is your. So again here another settlement will be there. So this process is very complicated. While doing the configuration we will see how it is. Okay, so it's very lengthy configuration and it's very important also. In interview, if they will ask questions from asset, definitely it will be asset under construction. So these things will be there in FI. Comparative, now come to the CO part. CO is what I can say, it's demanding, challenging and interesting also. Why? Because in controlling we will do the cost analysis and cost control. That means we can our first objective was we can control the cost so that your cost of production can be minimized and profit will be maximized. So top management is always more interested to CO comparative FI, because FI we have to follow the standard procedures, we have to follow the debit credit, we have to follow the law. So there is no creativity for consultant. But in CO it's completely internal reporting or report to management. So that's why they are more curious to know how the CO reports are there or how they can control their costs. So that's why it is very challenging for consultants in CO part, or CO consultants job is more critical compared to FI. So that's why you have heard like CO, lot of people they don't do controlling, they skip this. But whereas from job point of view it is more required. So if I will compare CO, it is like this. So FI is an independent module. That means you purchase a license, you can start working on FI. But CO is not independent module. CO is highly integrated with other modules, okay, like PP, SD, MM, and FI. If you don't have these modules, maybe your controller will not work perfectly. Okay. For example, you don't have the PP, then product costing will not be calculated properly. If you don't have the SD, then COPA will not work. So these are the requirements. In FI, we do external reporting. Some part of internal reporting also, but mostly external. What is external? Profit and loss, balance sheet, funds flow, cash flow. These are all external reporting. Okay, sorry, profit and loss, balance sheet, external, and your funds flow, cash flow, internal. But here it is completely internal or management reporting. So whatever the report you will generate here, it's a report to management, internal report or management. Another difference is in FI we will work on real figures. What is real figure? We paid salary, we will record in the system. We paid expenditure, some expenditure, we will record in the system. So these are your real figures or actual figures. Whereas in controlling, we will work on various figures. First, we will work on standard or planned cost. Okay, here we will prepare the budgets during the month. So we will work on standard cost during month. Then we will get it the actual figures from FI. So in month end, we will calculate the actual price at month end. How? Through direct posting, through some allocation methods. So like this we will get the actual cost. Then we will go for variance analysis. So variance will be, what is variance? Standard versus actual. Okay, standard versus actual. And this variance is to be settled. This variance should be settled. So these are the basic difference between FI and CO. First, it is closely linked with your other modules. Here mostly we will work on internal reporting, and both standard and actual costing we will work. So here, what are the components of, and also this is one more thing here, this in CO also, CO components are highly integrated with each other. Okay, for example, you can work independently on assets, you can work independently on receivable, but you can't work independently on other modules of other sub-modules of CO. So the components are, CO components are first the module you have CCA, cost center accounting. So in cost center accounting, we will do the overhead costing or cost management allocation or cost management allocation. Overhead costing, you know, when we will record any transaction, we have to use a particular cost center, or this is related to some department or cost center. In your graduation or post graduation, you studied all these things. What is allocation? So let's say in your organization, different type of cost centers are there. Some cost centers are related to production. Okay. Some cost center related to production. So I can use this example here. Production cost centers are, let's say, body shop, then assemble, then paint shop, polish. So these are your different production cost centers. Some other cost centers are related to admin also, admin cost centers, like plant admin, then cafeteria, canteen. Some other cost centers are related to maintenance or service. Here maybe, let's say, boiler plant, then you have a plant maintenance department. Okay, like it. So when we'll prepare the cost sheet or we'll calculate the cost of production is always calculated for these production cost centers. That means these three cost centers. But to know the or to calculate the actual cost of production, you have to consider the cost of other cost centers. Why it is so? Let's say your cost components are material, labor, overhead. Overhead means all the expenditure. Some overheads related to factory, that is your direct expenses, factory overhead. Some are related to admin, and some are related to selling and distribution overhead. So all total your overheads, selling cost. Now, if you ignore this cost, because this is not related to your production. So if you ignore this cost, that means your cost of production will be undervalued. Whereas this cost, actual expenditures are there in your P&L. When you pay the executive staff salary, it is there in the profit and loss. And you are thinking like he is not working in the factory, so we will not add this cost in your overhead or in the cost sheet. So your cost of production will be undervalued, because our selling price we can determine based on our cost of production. So if you ignore this cost, anyway you are going to derive the selling price at a low cost. So your profit will be very low, or it may be loss also. So that means whatever the cost we will add here, this product and this admin and service cost and cost, that we have to do the, or that we have to transfer to the production cost centers. So for that we have the allocation method. Right? Allocation of overheads. It's very important. Allocation, or in all this activity, this transfer we will do in month end. This is also called as period end activity. So in allocation, cost allocation, we have different methods are there. cost allocation by using distribution. So here we will use the primary cost element. So what is primary cost element? It's a completely new topic. It is nothing related to costing. It's SAP specific. Primary cost element, let's say you want to post some expenditure in FI wages. If you are working on some manual system, then this wages should be there in your costing part also. No? Are you not getting my voice? Sandhya, can you please confirm? Are you getting my voice? Hello? Okay, I want to post some wages in FI. So if you have a separate system for controlling, then again you have to post these wages there in some cost center, or in costing also you have to post a separate entry. But in SAP it's not like that. You just configure the cost element, then automatically system will transfer this cost from FI to CO to different cost center, whatever you will select here. So this is cost elements are used for FI CO integration purpose. Okay. Again, cost elements are two types. One is your primary cost element and secondary cost element. Secondary cost elements are used for distribution of overheads. When you can directly identify the cost, secondary cost element we will use. So in allocation method, in distribution, we will use the primary cost element. Another method we have assessment. So here we will use the secondary cost element using SCAF. For example, you have a cost center canteen. So canteen cost, let's say for this month, canteen cost is 50,000. This cost should be transferred to your production cost centers. So how we will transfer this cost? Is it divided by 3? No. The proper methodology should be there. So maybe you will distribute this cost with number of employees. So that is known as your SCAF. So like this different SCAF you have to create. This process is so complicated. If you will give this all this calculation to user, they will get confused. So that's why we will do the configuration in configuration level. User will simply run the program, then automatic this canteen cost will transfer to your production cost centers. Another method we have in cost allocation, that is your activity allocation. Okay, direct activity allocation. So here two options are there, direct and indirect. So here we will use the activity type. For example, we have a plant maintenance department. So the cost of plant maintenance department should transfer to your production cost centers. Can we use here the number of employees? No. Here the distribution should be number of maintenance hours. So here we need some activity types. So all these things we will cover in your cost center accounting. So here the components are cost center accounting, internal order, then you have profit center accounting, COPA, product costing. Cost element is not a component because it is related to all the components. Okay, so we will use the cost element with every submodule. These are the submodules. Cost element is not a submodule. So cost element we will, that means in cost center accounting, simultaneously we will work on cost center, then cost element, and also activity type. Okay, I hope it is clear. Now another concept we have, internal order. This is a new concept. What is the difference between cost center and internal order? Cost center is for long-term use. We have a factory and we will record the expenditure year-wise years. But internal order is used for short-term events. Let's say your company is going to participate in the trade fair. For which product you are doing this? For all the products. It's a general advertisement expenditure or sales promotional expenditure. So which cost center we will use here? We don't have the cost center. So right in that case, and it is 4 days event. So to record all the cost for that event, we will create an internal order. and record all the cost for that internal order or for that event. Okay, so whatever the expenditure for this trade fair, let's say 1 lakh, you record with the internal order, then this cost should be transferred to your production cost center, selling cost. So from there you transfer to your production cost centers. Again, here we have to do some allocation structure, settlement profile, because user simply run the program. In backend, we have to do the configuration to support all this transaction. And all this recording of cost throughout the month, but the settlement month-end activity. So for that, we will use the internal order. It's a small topic, but important one. Now come to the profit center accounting. I have already given hints profit center accounting. So what is the difference between cost center and profit center? In cost center, we will only calculate or we will only record the cost. Whereas in profit center, we will calculate both cost and revenue. So cost, that means we will assign these cost centers with profit centers. Okay. So here, this product is my profit center, and this product is, we are getting a complete product when it passes through different cost centers. So we have to calculate all the costs through cost centers, through internal order, through MM also. Material is also one cost component. So all total your cost, then link the profit center with sales. So that means in profit center, we have the revenue and we have the cost. From this, our new concept, that is COPA. COPA means cost and profitability analysis. We are preparing profit and loss to know the overall profit and loss of the organization. Let's say I want to know what is the status for this product. If you want to know product wise or a customer group wise profit and loss, your profit and loss is silent. That means we can say if we need a micro level report, then we need the COPA report. So in COPA, let's say here we have to create our own report. Normally we will use SAP standard report, but here using the report painters, we will create our own report. So I'm going to create a table. Let's say it's like this. So for this product, I need the analysis. So here, what we need, the sales quantity, the sales revenue or sales volume. Okay, then the cost of goods sold. So cost of goods sold means these things: your material cost, labor cost, overhead, admin, selling, everything. Cost of goods sold. Then some cost which is not part of your cost sheet. For example, discount. Discount is there in your sales invoice, but it is not there in your cost sheet. Discount. Freight. It will be there in your sales invoice. These are called sales deductions. Okay. To promote the sales, we have to offer this type of expenditure. So why it is complicated or difficult? Because we will get the information from different other modules. So these things we will get it from SD. This information we will get it from FI, CO, MM. Again, these things we will get it from SD. So that means that's why for calculation of COPA, all the prior configurations are must. Otherwise, COPA will not work. That means we should have the SD configuration, we should have the MM configuration, and CO also. Then only COPA will work. So for this product, we will get the different information from different areas, from different other modules, and we will analyze whether we will continue with this product or we will drop this product or whatever the decision we need here. So this is your COPA. It seems like easy, but it is actually very complicated because so many configurations are there. Now the product costing. So in product costing, we will calculate the cost of product, right? So when we will do the calculation, initially I told like it is the standard cost and planned cost and in month end actual cost. What is that? For example, here I have given something. Let's say, again, for product costing, we need the configuration of PP because Let's say to manufacture a car, what are the components are required that we know we will get it from, what are the material, mm. But how much quantity is required, how much iron is required, how much steel, aluminum is required. So for this, we need something, bill of material. In bill of material, we will define how much quantity is required. So that is your PP. So that means PP configuration also required. Similarly, labor we can get it from FI. But what is the hour they spent in each activity or in each work center? So that is, we need here something, routing, the PP configuration is required. So if in your organization PP is not there, then product costing will not work. Right? So in training, we have to do the PP configuration also. Now what is this standard costing or plant cost during month? PP, production planning, quantity structure. Bill of material, that means quantity of raw material required. Quantity of raw material required. Let's say 50 kg material required and it is 10 kg price. So total cost is 500. Labor charges through routing. Okay, quantity of activity type required. Activity type means hours or whatever. Quantity of activity type required. Let's say 30 machine hour rate into 15. So this cost is 450. Now standard price for November, it's 9550. This is your standard cost. Or we calculated the standard cost 950. Now go for the actual cost. So actual cost we will get it from different other modules. So in month end you will find the actual cost. So let's say actual is 51 and actual cost is 11. This one is your how much? 51 into 11, 561. And here it is actual hours 31, 16. A simple example I have given 496. So actual cost is 450, no 561 plus 496, 1057. So this variance we have to settle. Variance of 1057 minus 950. So that is the variance to be settled. So this is your standard cost, this is your actual cost, and we have to find out the variance. So all this related to PP. So in controlling, all topics are important. Most important is this product costing and COPA. So that means here in nutshell we will work on FI, CO, and we will do the integration. But before integration we have to work on also respective modules like MM, SD, PP, and integration will be with FI, MM, FI, SD, FI, CO, CO, PP. So this will be your integration. Okay, so just give me a second. This material will help you. Just a second. Okay, I have explained yesterday. This material will help you in configuration. Okay, let me log into the system. So you will get the server access for both the area like configuration and user. So this is the end user area or presentation layer. So all the end user activity we will do here. So certain end user transactions are there, scenarios are there in this material. In detail, I will also share the end user documents which we are using for clients. Okay, this is a simple GL posting. Background scenario is there, and you have both option system navigation and shortcut is given. Also the process flow is there, and you just follow the document to post the transaction. Okay, how it is given? Accounting, simply just follow the documents. Accounting, then financial accounting, general ledger, document entry, AB50. Okay, inserts are there. We just use this. So by using this document, we can, this document will help you. Like this is one single transaction for different activity. I will keep on posting different other end user documents. So this document will help you post various transactions and executive report or this area, this end user area for both FI as well as CO. And our real work, that is configuration. Here we will work on the backend or in application layer. These things. Okay. So different settings, configurations we will do here, like all the submodules of FI and all the submodules of control, and also SD and MM. SD, MM, PP. Okay, so this is all about a brief introduction about your course curriculum and course content. Course content already you have maybe. Now you can ask anything.
Will you install SAP on our system?
No installation is required. Sandhya will give you the server access. So simply you log into the server and it will work. No installation, okay. Nothing required.
Okay, so I'll be given all admin access, I mean the super user access and...
Yes, yes, everything. Even in training the server we are giving, you will have the MMSD, everything will be there. It's not like only the end user or configuration of FI, so everything will be there.
Okay.
Okay, once you have the internet connection, you can connect to server from any place.
Okay.
Maybe you heard about that VMware installation in the laptop. That is very slow actually, this one, because in same system you are doing the database layer application, server will be there. So it's complicated and very simple also, and lot of things will not work there. So you will get the real server access. Like okay. Same you will work in the office. Okay.
Okay.
Anything else?
No, I'm clear.
So yesterday you had some questions. I hope it is clear now, because
yes.
Yesterday it was half. So I just given the technical part introduction. Okay, so course duration around 14 weeks. So although we are saying 12 weeks, but it's not. We are not able to complete in 12 weeks because so many things are there. It's not only one module, so many modules and so things are there. So it's around 14 weeks, irrespective of your weekdays or weekend, whatever you will choose here. It will be 5 hours weekly.
Every day 5 hours?
No, not every day 5 hours. Weekly 5 hours.
Okay, weekly 5 hours. Okay, okay.
Weekly hours. If you choose, let's say weekdays, then 1 hour daily. If you select weekend option, then 2.5 hours each day, Saturday and Sunday.
I'm comfortable with the daily classes.
Yeah, that is better because your load will be less. That means daily 1 hour session will be there, and you need to practice those.
Yeah, we will have some time to practice also the same day.
Yes, yes. Weekend for those they don't have the time, so weekend better option for them. And mostly the working consultants. So those are already using SAP, maybe junior consultant or power user. That role, maybe they can manage. So it depends on the availability. Both options are good.
Okay. Pradeep, I just want to confirm, so after this training, I can showcase as 3 years of experience, right?
Like one implementation, one support.
One implementation, one support. Okay, what is the meaning of support? I mean, clearing all the
Support,
queries of
yes,
the end
support
user.
means let's say this Tata, right? This Tata company, they are in the implementation phase. So for this, let's say TCS is not part of Tata. They had TCS and TCS did the implementation. After that, some go live, TCS job is over. After that, it depends Tata. They can continue with the TCS team for the support, or they can hire their internal consultant.
Okay.
So if you are in implementation process, your job will be you will start everything from zero. Let's say client is using Oracle and they want to migrate to SAP. And in
Okay.
support, they are using SAP, but they have some issues.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay, you can show like I started my career from support project, and
Mm-hmm.
then I go to the implementation.
Okay. So do
That
they
is a
ask any
normal.
documents for implementation?
They will not ask any document. They will ask so many questions related to implementation, like when you prepare the blueprint, what are the hurdles are there, how you will get this information. So when you are doing this configuration, what are the issues you are facing? Similarly, when you are in support, what are the tickets you are handling? What type? There are 4 types of tickets are there: L1, L2, L3, L4. So what was your responsibility? All these things they will ask. They will not ask any document.
Okay.
Because
So we can
the way you will answer your question, from there only they will come to know that you are telling truth or what. Because one
okay.
person, if he is just he will give the bookish answer, then it implies he's not telling truth.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, for example, I will give a practical. So here, to do all the configuration or any end user activity, 2 options are there. One is
Hmm.
navigation system and one is
Hmm.
your keyboard. For example, let's say I want to post a transaction, right? I want to
Okay.
post a transaction, GL transaction, accounting, I can go financial accounting, general ledger, document entry, and arrays here. This is one option. Or you just enter the transaction code here. Within 1 second, you will be there in that screen. If you are
Oh.
working really in SAP,
Mm-hmm.
in office we never use the navigation path like 4 5 steps. Simply we will use the enter the T code. So in your answer, if you are using mostly T codes, they will not ask what is the T code for this or what is the navigation path for this. They will, let's say they
Okay.
ask like what is the GL posting, how you will post a GL. Let's say your answer you start your answer. Okay, you can go to the EG access and enter the T code every 50. That means this person is really working now. Because
Okay.
practically, if you'll ask anybody, he will not able to tell you the path. He will
Okay.
comfortable in code. That is a practical thing. So from this only they will judge whether you are telling truth or not. It
Okay.
is one example like this.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay.
So before the
This
training
is
interview, can you explain us the scenarios
yes,
to
yes,
read?
everything will be there. Yes, yes, everything will be there.
Oh, okay. That will make my life easy.
Yes, yes. I will also share blueprint. So there also you can practice like okay, you can show that this I was there in this implementation and I did this
Okay.
configuration. They will ask what are the configurations you did. So can you tell me some scenarios? So randomly you can tell some scenarios. communicate with developer with this functional specification. So like this, see, market 90% resumes are fake. All people are doing this. Otherwise, you will not get called. Only thing is that if you manage with this, then it's okay.
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, Pradeep. Yes, I got it.
It will show like the real, nobody will, you will not get even a call. And this is a tragedy, nobody is ready to hire freshers. So then how freshers will
That's
get
true.
this job?
Yeah. I have searched in Naukri.com. There are many of them asking above 4 years, above 5 years, above 7 years. With
Depends on the requirement.
maximum of one
So it's a,
implementation,
yes, it's a
5 years.
standard. It's a standard. You have to show the experience, otherwise you will not get job. Not
Yeah.
even get a call or the interview.
Ah, that's true.
Okay. Anything
Yeah.
else?
No, Pradeep. Yeah, I'm fine. I'm good.
Okay. Okay then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.